And the Calgary Police Service is asking for the public's help to identify the deceased person found in Crescent Heights Park on Wednesday. At approximately 8 a.m. on Wednesday, June 8th, 2016, police were called to a lightly forested area on the west side of the intersection of Center Street North and Samis Road Northeast after a citizen found a body. The death is considered suspicious because the body was concealed and was not intact at the time of discovery. An autopsy was completed on the body yesterday. However, we have not been able to identify the body and are asking the public for any information that could help. The victim is female, potentially between the ages of 20 and 40, with dark hair. Her left cheek had a distinguishable mark on it that was covered with some sort of bandage. Anyone with information about this incident or the identity of the woman is asked to call the Calgary Police Service non-emergency number at 266-403-1234, the Homicide Unit Tip Line at 403-428-8877, or Crime Stoppers anonymously. I'll take some questions and answer what I can, but the specifics are going to be difficult and not something that we're going to get into. And the main focus of what I would like to accomplish here is to speak to things that would help us identify this victim.
And some of the person who found the victim, are there any witnesses at all?
Well, we're still canvassing the area to see if anybody might now, knowing what's occurred, recollect something from earlier in the week. We believe that the body had been there a few days, so somebody that maybe at the time it didn't seem relevant, but now knowing what's occurred may seem relevant, is encouraged to contact police.
Any evidence that this person was found in a makeshift camp, was living there, or was it found just alone on its own?
Yeah, we don't believe it's a homeless camp type situation. That we believe this person was purposely placed there.
Was there any belongings? Was she wearing any clothes?
As far as belongings in the area, no, and the condition of the body isn't something that we'd speak to. That's as far as that kind of stuff, anyway.
The condition of the body was found and given to be that way before the death or after?
How do you mean?
Well, you said it was not intact, and you don't want to get into specifics on that, but did that happen before the body was killed?
Right. So it appears to investigators that there was some effort put into concealing the body. It was not intact, and but we don't believe it's from animal activity in the area or things like that. We believe that what was done was purposely done.
And there's no recent missing persons cases that kind of fit the description?
Not that we've been able to match up so far, but that's one thing that investigators are still pouring over, both locally and surrounding area, and that'll expand as we go. We're utilizing several different techniques to try to identify this lady forensically through dental records, but so far we haven't been able to do that.
Any distinctive clothing that she might have been wearing that somebody may recognize her from travels or the street, or?
Not to speak of, no.
It's fairly, by the sound of it, the suspect or suspects put that much effort into dismember the body. That's a fairly vicious attack. Do you often, how many cases have there been in the last couple of years?
Yeah, it's fairly, circumstances like this are fairly unique, generally speaking. It's not, thankfully, not the type of thing we see very often, but we're hoping that uniqueness may yield some specific information that can help investigators move forward.
Is there security cameras or anything in the area that can help you guys out, figure out who dropped off the spot?
There's some we've looked at. We continue to canvass the area, not only from an evidentiary standpoint, but to see who might live in that area, or if anybody has any information, but that's a very labor-intensive task, and then all the video that is recovered takes time to review, but those are all things that are being done as we speak.
Were there any items that the search and rescue people were out looking for that night? Did they find anything that might help you guys out?
We're still searching the area. That'll continue over the next couple of days in various capacities, landfill sites, things like that are being searched, but to date I'm not aware. I haven't received an update on if anything of value has been recovered.
How about a nationality, skin color? You said just dark hair with a scar, I think, on somewhere?
Not so much a scar, but it looks like on the left cheek something has been cut or removed, or some type of a distinguishable mark that had a bandage over it, which we would surmise was pre-event. And as far as nationality goes, it's difficult to tell based on the levels of decomposition at this point. So that's all forms part of the identification process.
Are we thinking it's related to any other criminal activity in the city, maybe gang activity or anything like that?
Those are all viable avenues we're continuing to explore until we can positively identify the victim. We're not ruling anything out.
Have there been any useful tips so far? Anybody taken in for questioning or any people of interest?
Specifically, witnesses, people who think they might have seen something. That's been the majority of our focus to this point.
So there's no people of interest or nobody in custody at this point?
There's nobody in custody at this point, no.
It's a pretty general question. Obviously, if you're in the area, you live there, you were just a passerby, you may not be looking or remember certain things. Is there anything that you can tell anyone who could have possibly witnessed this? Something to try to remember, to trigger a memory of that day or earlier that week, something that was off that they saw, people going in and out of places, things like that.
Well, from our caller, what he reports is seeing and noticing an odor his first time by going to work. Second day stopped, noticed an object in the trees, and then made the call to police. So it's possible somebody may have saw something in that. It's a small treat area. They may have seen something that now makes sense. So I would encourage those people to call in if there is anybody that thinks they have something, and there's really no piece of information that's too small, because it might get married up to other pieces of info and become significant.
Now, this isn't a homicide investigation right now, correct?
We're treating it as a suspicious death investigation at this point.
What is, has the MERA ruled on cause of death?
Not specifically at this point, and the details of that will all form part of the investigation as we go forward.
How long does it take to get something like dental records back?
I'm not sure. I don't think very long. I think most of our partners realize the importance of these sort of things, so it would be a priority.